Hello everyone, my name is Paul. I work for a company called Micrographics. We are an Autodesk reseller and we operate from within Cape Town, South Africa. Today I'd like to discuss the intersections and the intersection sets that we can create within Civil 3D, specifically the intersection sets and how we can create them if we haven't done so yet. So what you'll see on the screen is that there's some other layout of a suburb, and in the suburb we have a typical assembly that is getting used for a street and a typical assembly that is used for a street that flows into that. And so what we'd like to do is to create an intersection. I've actually started using the intersections separate from the other alignments, and I'm creating them from scratch. So when you create an intersection, you don't need to have existing corridors. You can create an intersection. It will ask you where you want to create that. We're going to go with this intersection over there where the two alignments meet each other in a T-junction. Then we can see that the intersection name in this case is going to be Johnson and Third. Second note is Johnson, and let's just check quickly. Right, Johnson and Third, that's correct. So there's Johnson and Second, and there's Johnson and Third. So let's do Johnson and Second. There's our intersection tools. We'll select that intersection over here. That is Johnson and Second. And then we can give it a description. Johnson and Second T-section. It's a basic intersection marker. Yes. Primary road, crown maintained. Yes. Geometry details. There we can see our alignment, our station, and our profile. Then we've got offset parameters. Let's go and have a look at those. In the offset parameters, there we can see what we want to use. There's a use of an existing alignment, no. Offset alignment name format, offset value. So these are alignments that will be created automatically. You can, so it is Johnson left and then a certain distance, same with the right, so that will be fine. If it's usually that's 3 out of the box, you can change that to 3.6. so that's just the width of the lanes. Okay, here's the corridor regions, and these are the assemblies that we're going to apply. The curb return fillets is going to be curb return fillets. So out of the box, Civil 3D alignments, the surface to daylight existing, yes. And then we can see over here is an interesting thing here. Select an assembly set to import, or you can browse or save as set. All right, that's interesting. Okay, so I've noticed this. I haven't used it, but I've noticed it. So now I just go, all right, let's create the intersection. That creates our intersection in our prospector. There we can see our intersection. There's the intersection in Johnson and Second. Those are the alignments that we create with the alignment naming standard. And there are the intersection quadrants. You can select them and see where they are. And this is now the typical intersection between this corridor and that corridor. Now, one of the interesting things that I've learned is you can create an intersection set just by going through the same process, going intersection, create intersection, specifying that you want to create an intersection, and then when you get to the stage where we're on the next And next, over here, we can save as set. We can choose where we want to save that set. I'm just going to say there's my T42 save and cancel. That would have saved the set, and that means that if I were to create yet another one, Johnson 4th or Johnson 5th, whatever it is, then I could then use the same set to import. There's my intersection tool. I can choose that intersection, and there I would go with the browse T42 open. That loads the same numbers over there. Okay, looking at the offset parameters, that looks good. Okay, so at least where your corridor regions are concerned, you can bring in the correct corridor regions, and then you can create the intersection. You have secondary road center line. Let me just go back over here. Primary road can't maintain Johnson and 4th intersection geometry details. Yeah, Johnson 4th Street. Okay. Alright, let's go to go. Ah, one of them doesn't have a profile, of course. Okay, so one of these 4th Streets doesn't have a profile yet, so we'll have to do 3rd Street then. My apologies. Let's create a intersection. Do the same thing again and browse for T42 and create the intersection. There we go. Alright, so this one has a profile, the other one doesn't have a profile yet. The design profile for that's 3rd Street has a design profile. 4th Street does not yet have a design profile. So therefore we couldn't create the intersection, but we could at least create the intersection set. So we've got the typical intersection set of alignments and assemblies that we want to use for them, and so hopefully you can also create these for yourself, and it becomes easy to create the intersections as and when you need them. Till next time, enjoy Civil 3D.